Right, here we have Obsolete Wonder Woman issue 1, and this is actually the first printing. Some of the first printings of these, especially Obsolete Batman, they are selling for a decent chunk of money, and that is why I am very glad that of all my issues of this series, it is the first printing of issue 1 that has some superficial damage on the cover. You won't have noticed it, but there is a little bit where the scotch tape got stuck to the cover and pulled some of it off in between the O and the N in the title. It looks like it might be part of the logo at first glance, but it decreases the value of this copy of the issue tenfold. This is Obsolete Wonder Woman by Kelly Clarkson and Peabody and Sherman. Wonder Woman riding a Pegasus. Good first issue cover. And there is a lot to explain here, so let's crack on. This isn't set in the DC universe. It is an alternative reality. It is a new universe, but at DC. And we are in Gateway City, which features sites named after the creator of Wonder Woman and Gail Simon. Two people with equally important contributions to the Wonder Woman character. We have the man who created her, the man who invented Wonder Woman, the man who there would not be a Wonder Woman without. We name a tourist trap after him because he created Wonder Woman, and that is the most essential thing to a character's history, them being created. And then we name a beach after the flighty feminist with no integrity who wrote an issue where Wonder Woman teamed up with every major DC heroine. As I said, equally as important to the legend of Wonder Woman. I do want to talk about that a bit, because we really are in an age where you actually have to avoid looking up the creators because you'll find some reason to dislike them. The writer of this, Kelly Clarkson, I wanted to just get an overview and see if there's anything else of hers that is meant to be alright or looks alright. And instead I was greeted with a CBR article she wrote a decade ago where I read like 2 sentences and had to close it off because it would make me very against this issue. Gateway City is attacked by flying evil demon monsters from an unknown object that has appeared over the coast. And so enter our hero, Wonder Woman, on her mount with her big sword. And she does battle with these flying beasts. And then here she is helmeted. And here she is unhelmeted. Now there is some backstory to this universe, but I don't give a rat's arse about it. Darkseid created this universe. He created the darkest universe ever, or some crap like that. I don't care. The minute that stuff starts bleeding into the obsolete books is probably when I am done. My stance is enjoy it while you can. And it might be until you read a CBR article about how much this writer hates Karen Daggers and how they fixed her forever by making her into Captain Marbles. The first issue is good enough that I am electing to not complain about all the things that drive me nuts, but I can promise you in a future video I am going to tear into these fucking title pages they do now. With this, we actually do my most favourite writing trope in the world. We started in the present, but now we flash back to tell the real story. Years ago, the Isle of El, prison of the great sorceress Circa. And it truly is El, because here is obsolete Superman. In this El, Circa is visited one day by Apollo, the god Apollo from fairyland. And he gives her a baby. The baby is the last of the fairies of fairyland. And she was taken from them by Apollo's father, Liam Neeson from Clash of the Titans. I tell you, giving you all the exposition and explanation is easy when I just read the words in the issue. From here forth the word fairy is banned, so I decree. He decrees, not me. So little baby Wonder Woman is left in El, and Circa has no interest in raising it or in motherhood. So she just leaves it to be devoured by a snake, but then the baby grabs the snake and throws it the fuck away, which piques Circa's interest. The idea of these obsolete books is that they take the familiar DC heroes and they remove a key ingredient of their story, and that is a change made. In Wonder Woman's case, she no longer comes from paradise. Now she comes from hell. Obsolete Batman isn't rich. He doesn't have the wealth or the resources that the real Batman does. Obsolete Flask doesn't have Barney Allen. He doesn't have the mentor. There's no Flask legacy. And then obsolete Superman doesn't have a competent creative team. The best parts of this issue are these sequences that follow, where we see Wonder Tot grown up in El with Circa, and we see how Wonder Tot changes the environment and changes Circa. Here, she catches a El lizard of some kind, and rather than kill it or bite its head off, or whatever they do in El, she is nice to it and kisses it and lets it go. And then we have a montage of similar things. A montage across 6 pages. And Wonder Tot is adorable. And then Wonder Tot grows up and becomes Wonder Girl. And we see Circa has come to care about her new daughter. And then Wonder Girl has grown into Wonder Woman. Maybe missing is a bit of a real measure of what this L entails. A little bit of world building. But we say Wonder Woman has grown up as a fighter and a lover. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a lot more of her youth in future issues. There is a mine of story potential in showing us more Wonder Tot or Wonder Girl. I just hope that the eventual writer of Obsolete Tiny Titans doesn't glance at this issue and mistakenly think that the teenage Wonder Woman was a separate character. We are all caught up now, sort of. Wonder Woman has left El to battle monsters in man's world. and here is one of them, one of those monsters. But this is just a herald to a bigger bad called the Tetracide. Fight! We have Wonder Woman battling this harbinger of evil. We have got a very simple backbone of a new version of the Wonder Woman character here. We have given her sufficient enough origin. And now what we need is to see the other half of her, which is showing the reader that she is a great warrior. And there is some effort made to do that, but I think there is a tiny mistake made in this issue's presentation when it comes to that aspect anyway. But Wonder Woman, she has her big sword. People love the big swords. She has a few other bits and pieces of battle gear. She has magics. That's on her side as well. Her mother figure was a sorceress, so that is a new thing brought to the table. And then Wonder Woman is seemingly defeated by our flying beastie. We have one last sliver of a flashback with her and Circa. Their relationship is another thing I am sold on. It is an intriguing direction and reinvention of one of her biggest enemies. Now they have a mother-daughter dynamic, and I know she is in a later issue. She is on a cover, issue 7 I think. But I will be so disappointed if we just have Circa be evil in the end. Build on what you have here. Circa likes her daughter. Her daughter made Circa a better person. Actually, yeah, that is what I like the most about this. That this dark, twisted version of Wonder Woman is still inspiring. She spreads goodness. That is key to the idea of Wonder Woman. That she is this good person that others look to. That she is peace and love and all things nice. That sounds really lame and corny, but I like the idea, even the dichotomy, of this badass, hell-spawned Wonder Woman with a giant sword who still embodies all the goodness that Wonder Woman does. And we reach the end with Wonder Woman picking herself up, ready to fight the monster again. What I don't like isn't that in 2024, long after his exposure and cancellation, we have a dead person's memorial tainted by sex pest Warren Fallis being allowed to offer a statement on them. Though I would love to hear what Kelly Clarkson and Gail Simon think about that, because I suspect they don't mind at all. Let the sex pest have his say. I don't want to rock the boat, do I? Warren Fallis, he only targeted a dozen women. It's hardly loads of women, is it? No, my beef is I think we need to see Wonder Woman beat this monster. This issue is extra length, but well, obviously Batman issue 1 did this a bit better. We got to see Batman beat the shit out of some crime balls in that one. We got our action scene that sold us on that part of Batman. There was a second action scene actually, shorter, him and Jarvis, but forget that. This feels like, ending on this, it makes it feel like I have just read a preview. And I complain about that a lot with modern comics. I'm not saying that the rest of the issue was empty, but this one little bit here, the bit we end on, the last thing you have, It makes me think that I've been reading a preview and I've not gotten a full story. You really needed to have her chop off this monster's head with a big sword or something. And then you go, but there's something bigger coming. That way, in the first issue, you have everything you need. You've seen Wonder Woman's origin, you've seen Wonder Woman win a fight, you know where she is at now exactly. But it is not a bad issue other than that. There is some behind the scenes spotlight on obsolete Wonder Woman. Development artwork by Peabody and Sherman, and Kelly Clarkson talking about the book and presenting herself better than in any of her CBR articles. There is stuff to like here, there's stuff to gripe about, but I think there's more stuff to like here. I am apprehensive about this universe. If obsolete Wonder Woman can continue on for a few years as its own little thing, without all the Darkseid shit or meeting obsolete Superman, then I am happy with that. Maybe my new motto for comics really is enjoy it while it lasts. I give it an absolute 7 thumbs up.